Once upon a time, in a quiet countryside home, a little mouse scurried through the wooden floorboards in search of food. It was a simple day, like any other. The house was still, and the air carried the faint scent of something delightful. As the mouse passed by the kitchen, his tiny nose twitched. A delicious aroma filled the air, sweet and warm like sunshine on a spring day. He followed the scent until he found its source. A large basket brimming with golden corn. The mouse's eyes widened with excitement. His stomach rumbled. But the basket was completely sealed shut. Not a single grain could be reached. Undeterred, the mouse tried to nibble through the thick wicker surface. His tiny teeth scraped against it again and again, but the basket was too sturdy. It didn't even flinch. Then, as if fate had taken pity on his hunger, he noticed something nearby. A small kitchen knife lying on the floor, forgotten by the humans. His clever mind sparked with an idea. With effort, he dragged the knife toward the basket and used its sharp edge to carve a hole, just big enough for him to squeeze through. With a quick glance around, the mouse left the knife outside and slipped into the basket. What he found inside was pure bliss. Piles of corn as far as his eyes could see. Overcome with joy, he began to eat, filling his stomach without a second thought, completely unaware of the consequences that would follow. Time passed, and the mouse's once hungry belly grew round and heavy. He had eaten far more than he needed. The excitement of abundance had clouded his judgment. When he finally leaned back against the soft kernels, sighing with contentment, a sudden realization hit him. He needed to leave. He turned to the hole he had carved earlier. But something was wrong. The opening that once welcomed him now seemed impossibly small. Confused, the mouse tried to push himself through. His front paws slipped out, but his swollen belly got stuck. He backed up and tried again, twisting, turning, squeezing, but it was no use. He no longer fit. Panic set in. He looked around the basket, searching for something, anything that could help. That's when he remembered the knife. But it was outside, just out of reach. Desperation crept in like a cold wind. He tried to chew a new hole, but the basket sides were too thick. His small teeth were no match. Exhausted and overwhelmed, he collapsed into the corn and began to cry. His cries were soft at first, then louder, whimpers turning into sobs. He wasn't crying just out of fear. Deep down, he knew this wasn't just bad luck. It was his own greed that had gotten him stuck. He had a chance to eat a little and leave, but he had taken too much. He had overindulged, thinking only of now, never of what came next. And now, trapped in a basket of his own making, he wondered if this was the end. No one knew he was there. No one was coming. The joy of abundance had vanished, replaced by a deep, growing regret. Just as the mouse was starting to give up hope, a rustling sound came from outside the basket. A pair of long ears and curious eyes appeared near the hole. It was a rabbit, passing by on his morning stroll. He had heard the mouse's cries and stopped to investigate. "Hey there," the rabbit said gently. "Why are you crying?" The mouse wiped his eyes and told the rabbit everything. From discovering the corn, to eating too much, to getting stuck with no way out. The rabbit listened patiently, then took a long look at the hole. "Well," the rabbit finally said, "I can't break this basket, and I don't see the knife you mentioned. But I do have an idea. Just wait until morning." "Morning?" the mouse asked, puzzled. "Yes. By then, your belly will be empty again. You'll shrink back to your normal size, and you'll be able to escape." The mouse thought about it. It made sense. His body would digest the food overnight, and with an empty stomach, he could slip out just like before. He nodded in agreement. "Thank you," the mouse whispered. "No problem," said the rabbit. "Just don't eat any more corn tonight. Be patient. Sometimes waiting is the smartest thing you can do." With that, the rabbit hopped away, leaving the mouse with hope he hadn't felt in hours. The night was long and quiet. The mouse resisted the tempting scent of the corn and waited, belly slowly shrinking with each passing hour. By dawn, he felt light again. Hope returned. He approached the hole with anticipation. Freedom was within reach. As the morning light filtered into the basket, the mouse stood at the hole, feeling a strange mixture of excitement and relief. His belly had returned to its usual size. He tested the hole with his paws. Yes, he could fit again. A few more steps and he'd be free. But then he paused. The corn was still there, piled high, golden and warm in the morning sun. He stared at it. Just one more bite, he thought. Just a small one. After all, he was going to leave anyway, so why not enjoy a little more before he did? So he turned back. One bite became two. Two became 10. Before he realized what was happening, he had eaten more than the night before. His belly swelled once more. The comfort of food silenced the warning in his head. When he finally turned to the hole again, he knew. He was stuck. Again. Panic returned, but this time it was mixed with shame. He had known better. He had been given a second chance, an opportunity to walk away, but he ignored it. He chose comfort over change, habit over freedom. As he sat there, angry at himself, a soft sound reached his ears. Footsteps. But they were not gentle like the rabbit's. These were silent and slow. A shadow passed over the basket. It was a cat. She sniffed the basket, eyes narrowing at the scent of fresh prey. With quick precision, she reached through the hole, grabbed the mouse, and pulled him out. Before the mouse could utter a single word, it was over. The story of the little mouse is not just about hunger or corn. It's a reflection of how many of us live our lives. We chase after what feels good in the moment. More comfort, more things, more distractions, without thinking about the cost. We find ourselves stuck in jobs we don't love, routines that don't serve us, or habits that drain our energy. And like the mouse, we keep saying, "Tomorrow, I'll change." But tomorrow never comes. Sometimes life gives us a second chance. A moment to pause, to escape, to change course. But instead of acting, we return to what's familiar. We fall into the same cycles, the same traps. Not because we don't know better, but because it's easier. Because change is uncomfortable. But time waits for no one. One day, like the cat in the story, life may pull us out of the basket. Suddenly, with no more chances left. And then it's too late. So ask yourself, are you truly free, or are you just comfortable in your cage? Are you living with purpose or just existing out of habit? Every morning is a new opportunity. Don't waste it. Don't be like the mouse.